Now that the dust is settled on the IPL Media Rights bidding, we were tracking that for the last 3 days, but now we can look back and actually look at the real numbers and what that means to both the broadcasters as well as the consumer, that is you, the end consumer. Did it make financial sense to have bid upwards of 48,000 crores combined between digital and TV, and how is it that the broadcaster is going to recover that money? Remember, for the very first time we'll have two broadcasters, one on the digital platform, the other on TV. How does that impact their revenue model? All of those things we'll try and answer in this particular video, but the most important question is going to be, how will you, the consumer, be effective? Will you have to shell out more money from your pocket just to compensate for the big price that the broadcasters have paid? Okay, let's break down the numbers. Let's start with the basics. The rights have gone for 23,575 crore for TV. Digital has gone for 25,758 crore. So what's the biggest talking point here? For the very first time, digital combined, remember digital is a combined of exclusive and non-exclusive, has gone to the same player, that is Viacom 18. For the very first time, digital has beaten TV now. So that's the most important point. How does that play out? We'll explain a little later. So what has happened to the ratio of TV versus digital over the years? The first time digital were up for grab, went under the hammer in 2015. The ratio was 90:10. 90% the broadcaster paid for television rights, 10% he kept for digital, because he thought he can only recover that amount of money from digital because digital was rising. 2018 it reached 75-25, even though there was no exact division at that time because it was the same player in Star India. But looking at the other bids, they had a combined bid, remember, but looking at the other bids of digital and TV, you could clearly make out that the rationale there was 75 to TV and 25 to digital. What has happened now in 2022, even though it is going to be effective from 2023, it's already reached 50-50. Though for the first time, as I said, digital has gone ahead of TV. It may be just 50.5 versus 49.5, that about, but we've kept it at 50-50 just to let you know digital is there. So for the last decade, we kept hearing digital is the future, but looking at these rights, well, you'd have to conclude that digital or the future is here. We've already reached that stage. It's no more just the future, something that we were looking forward to. Okay, now this is where numbers get very interesting. We're going to see, does it make financial sense to have bid the television rights that Star did, and what did it make for Viacom 18 at the price that they got the digital rights? Let's start with TV advertising. How does that work? So roughly about, you've got 3,500 seconds of ads per match on an IPL match. That's one match. Now you'd be looking, and we're taking a look at how the prices will go up every year, that incremental increase that you have. So we're looking at 10 lakh per 10-second ad rate on television. Already in certain cases it's breached the 10 lakh per 10-second mark, it has, but that's not at an average. A lot of other ads are below 10 lakh as well. But assuming the inflation and how the costs keep adding up, we're assuming 10 lakh per 10 seconds is what the television broadcaster is going to charge. So at that ad rate, advertising revenue comes to 13,940 crore. Now remember, these are rough estimates, not very tough to arrive at. 13,940 crore. Now we're just looking at the balance sheet for Star India that have won the television rights. So total TV cost at 23,575 crore. TV revenue, as we just explained how we reach that number of 13,940 crore. The deficit now is 9,635 crore over a period of 5 years. So TV subscription now will have to break even. So 9,635 crore they will need to break even. That is the kind of money that they need to make. What we're getting to here is they could break even. This is feasible. You could get about 9,635 odd crore or thereabouts on TV subscription. Remember, looking at the end customer, you will not have to pay more for TV subscription, because remember, subscription money in India is regulated by the TRAI. So any broadcaster cannot randomly decide what is it that you have to pay. They may have paid a huge amount to get these rights, but they can't ask you to pay any amount in subscription because that is regulated by the TRAI. So that subscription will be almost the same. It's been disputed in courts, but you don't expect some incremental increase there. So at the price that there is, or a gradual increase to that, most industry experts believe that this is a break-even number. Let's also listen to Harish Thawani's thoughts. He tells us, being an insider, he held the India cricket rights for many years. This is what he had to say.
It's a stretch. 1927 crores is a stretch to get incremental value on subscription on IPL, but it's not difficult to fathom. I spoke to two people in the cable and the satellite TV industry, and they say, they'll be mugged for more money, but at a stretch. So it's a sort of break-even number.
So you heard from Mr. Thawani. Nobody knows the landscape of sports broadcasting as good as Mr. Thawani. And as he says, these numbers are achievable. Two very important points to look at why also we think, even at the outset, that these numbers are achievable. One, that Star India that have got the TV rights are the incumbent. So they know where they stand in the market, and if they bid at this level, they know how much money they can get out of the market, where they stand at the moment. They know the real number. So the incumbent knowledge is available with them, and if they won the bid at this price, you reckon that they know this was achievable. The other thing that really works in favor of TV advertising is that almost 90 to 100% of inventory was sold out. So there's rarely a chance there that the inventory for TV is not sold out. So that's a very important thing that goes in favor of linear TV. And put all of that together, I think it was a very, very smart bid by Star India, and they'd be very happy to get the rights or to retain the television rights. They didn't go too far in digital. Why is that? Let's take a look at that now. 3,500 seconds. Now I'm just comparing. I gave you the numbers for television. What does it stand for digital rights? 3,500 seconds of ads per match, we had said, which is the same for digital and TV. Now here, remember, there we had said you get 10 lakh per 10 second for TV. That could be the ad rate. Here, it is an industry norm. As of now, the reality of the market is you get 50% of ad rates on digital compared to TV. So you'll get about 5 lakh per 10 seconds ad rate here. And then your advertising revenue only comes to 6,970 crore. Now, why is it that you think that, what could be the reasons behind the ad rate being half for digital as compared to television? I'll get Mr. Paratosh Joshi. He's again a media strategist, has worked with various big firms, and especially in ad sales, he understands that entire landscape very, very well. Listen into his thoughts, and he explains why there is some sort of hesitancy in the market when it comes to digital ad rates.
Globally, advertisers are beginning to get very circumspect around digital advertising for a simple reason. They are now saying that there is no, platform agnostic measurement system that tells us how many impressions were really delivered, right? And we are convinced, and they know, it's factually established that a large number of, click factories exist all across the world. So these are server farms that are doing nothing except creating fake impressions and fake clicks on an assortment of sites, including the streaming sites. So advertisers are becoming circumspect and saying that we are not sure that we are getting much more than 20, 30, 40% of the value that we are nominally supposed to get. Somewhere along the line, it is showing up in resistance, which is growing. So we do know that there are advertisers in the first world, in the United States itself, who have been paring back their digital spends because they say that we don't know what really happened here. We don't really know the return on marketing investment that we got here. And I suspect that exactly that kind of a thing is working on the minds of serious advertisers in India. So I believe that there is going to be some circumspection at play here. And this notion that we will just walk out into the market and the money will come just sort of flooding in is serious case of irrational exuberance going on.
So as Mr. Joshi explained there, one thing you really don't know the true numbers when it comes to viewership of digital. For television, you've got agencies that track television. These are independent agencies. So you know that that is a representational number, even though the sample size may be small, but that's still neutral. In the case of digital, you only get the numbers from the platform, and no one really knows whether they are true numbers. And this is something advertisers know, and that is why they are hesitant to pay the same amount for digital as they pay for TV. Few other things that really go against digital advertising. One, as you can make out because of the hesitancy, I told you for television about 90 to 100% inventory is full. For digital, it is roughly about 78% inventory is what Disney Hotstar, when they had the IPL rights on digital, 78% on an average for the last 2 years, the inventory was filled for. So there is that gap, you know, there is a good 20 odd percent, more than 20 odd percent gap. That means there are not too many takers for digital, and that is also something that will play out, even though I've taken it at 100%. So I've exaggerated. Imagine if it falls down to 78% of inventory being filled, not 100, that figure will also drop. The other thing that you must remember, and most industry insiders will tell you, that goes against digital, most of the consumption on digital is on mobile phone. Now on small screens, if you speak to advertisers, they'll tell you that they think the impact of the ad on small screen isn't as great as what it is on big screen. I understand that there is a small population that consumes digital on the big screen, on smart TV, but that's a small population. Majority of people that consume digital contents are doing it on the mobile phone, and the advertisers aren't too kicked about their ads running on digital, especially on a small screen. All of that put together, digital advertising then only commands 50% of the rate. Now, so what does the balance sheet show then for digital rights? Digital cost now is at 23,758, as we mentioned earlier, slightly more than a TV now. Digital ad revenue, we took the inventory at 100%, which is still unlikely, at 6,970 crore. So now you have a deficit of 16,788 crore. Now that's a massive, massive deficit. That's the digital subscription has to fill. Can they fill? I'll further break down that numbers and tell you how difficult it is going to be, and in the profit and loss sheet it's not looking good for the digital right holder. So what happens? Total digital subscribers, I'm just looking at Hotstar as of now. They've been adding every year, but even at their best they are to 49 million, but I've taken a round figure of 50 million. Imagine that Voot on which they will be showing their digital product now, a Viacom 18, or it might even extend to the app if you're a Jio subscriber as far as the phone is concerned. So even if I was to take the top number of people that consume IPL or cricket or digitally, 50 million, this is, remember, exaggerated amount that I'm telling you, figure which is at the highest at the moment. Bundle price per month. Now subscription I'm looking at. What is this bundle price? If you realize, a lot of you get OTT subscription based on the mobile operator that you have. It could be any mobile operator. They sometimes offer this bundle price where at rupees 10 roughly you could get a Disney Hotstar subscription. So eventually it comes in your bill of that mobile phone, and at the end of the day the mobile provider then pays roughly around 6, 8 or 10 rupees per month to the OTT platform. Now, if you were to take this subscription individually, not through a mobile operator, not in a bundle, you might have to pay more. But in a bundle, which most people are doing because it comes through your mobile operator, in some cases, even if you've got a broadband at home sometimes, like I have, my broadband connection also paying monthly unlimited broadband also gives me access to 7 to 8 other OTT platforms. I don't pay anything extra. It comes alongside the free internet that I pay for. So the OTT comes free with that. So what do the platforms that are giving you these free OTT on the broadband or on your mobile phone? They are paying the OTT platforms, as I said, roughly around between 6, some say 8, some say 10. Again, I'm taking a top number here. At rupees 10 they are paying. So if that is the number, then digital subscription for 2 months comes to 100 crore, then digital subscription for 5 years comes to 500 crore. So the digital shortfall overall is 16,788. That was a deficit, as I said. 500 crore I'll minus because you're getting it from digital subscription, but your shortfall is still close to 16,288 crore for the digital broadcaster if he was to work with this bundle model. Now what might happen, and this is where I think it becomes crucial for everyone, that bundle might go. So the one who has the rights, the OTT platform, which would be Voot in this case, they have the rights for IPL, they may not now be part of any bundle that you get on Airtel or any other, or Idea, or if you've got any broadband provider at home, those bundles that you get, they may opt out of it, in which case you will have to pay it directly. So total digital subscribers, keeping it at 50 million, which is, as I said, the top level that we are looking at. Subscription per month here. Now I'm looking at 150 per month, because they may ask now that we don't want to be part of any bundle, pay 150 per month. So digital subscription for 2 months is going to be 1500 crore. Digital subscription for 5 years then reaches 7500 crore. So digital shortfall in this scenario then comes down to 9288 crore. Still quite a bit, but still less than if you were to keep that bundle in mind. Now, whether they continue with that or not, we'll have to wait and watch, but this is the way forward, and most likely this is what is going to happen. You'd have to pay individually for that particular app that will be giving you digital IPL. Right, so what are the other options available to the digital rights holder now if they want to cut down this 9288 crore also? Let's look at that. Now we know that the TVOD model, that is transactional video on demand, where you actually pay for the particular video that you want to watch, it's already now in existence in India. That could also come in. So instead of just looking at a monthly subscription at 150, as I was saying, it could be escalated because there is no regulation, remember, in digital as it is in TV. That could be one thing. Or they may ask you to pay for one particular match you could be allowed as a consumer. So you may not want to take an entire month, but there are a few matches that you want to watch in the IPL. You may have to pay a 50 rupees sort of a sum or whatever that they decide on. So TVOD model is something that the digital player could look at, because they have to cover up for that 9,000 odd crore that I was mentioning earlier. The other logic here is because the player that has won the digital rights not only has an OTT platform, it is also a mobile phone provider, so they may want to increase their subscriber base on mobile phones. So they might just, IPL losses, even if they register any losses, may piggyback on Jio profits, because they are a mobile provider. As I said, they could even keep their subscriber base intact or even increase that. So those are the areas they can look at. Also increase the valuation of their OTT platform, which is a small player at the moment, Voot that I'm talking about. Maybe increase the subscriber base to that. So those could be the cost. They may look at those losses as cost or marketing or advertising to increase their valuation, subscriber base and various things like that. That could be something on the mind, and most likely was on the minds of Viacom 18 when they bid the kind of price that they did. Now, the most important question is, as I said, does it also, this money, extra money that I was talking about, come out of your pocket? There was this concern. A lot of you sent me a question saying that, listen, the prices have gone up, they're paying this kind of money, but this will affect me, the consumer, because advertising rates will go up, which means that the companies that are advertising will increase the price of their products as well. And if the product prices increase, it will come out of my pocket. Is there any merit in that argument? We've got Mr. Joshi to explain that too.
In the larger scheme of things, those 10,000 crores in a 3 trillion economy is not going to move the needle. So I don't know that people should worry about this as the reason for their, sort of cost of goods and services going up. But, it is possible, it's definitely possible that it will impact the subscription part. The advertising part, I honestly don't think is, it gets washed out. That's not a big deal. There are far bigger levers which are driving inflation than media inflation or cost of media. I don't think that materially impacts something so much that my soap will be more expensive or my edible oil will be. It will be more expensive, but not because of this. So I think that is a slightly misplaced apprehension.
So as Mr. Joshi explained there very well, that no, the product prices will not go up. Advertising money, even if it's increased, isn't really the lever that will push product prices up. So that is something that you really don't need to worry about. On the subscription fund, yes, you could see a rise there, especially in the digital medium. As we said, the subscription prices may go up on that. But then the consumer always has the chance. You could stick to linear TV, because if that is cheaper, most consumer, yes, it will not allow you the mobility to travel and then watch IPL, but if you're in a place, then you might as well go with TV subscription rather than digital, if there is a big gap between the two. So as things stand right now, as I mentioned at the start, TV numbers seems like a fantastic deal. Digital numbers are not adding up. Maybe 5 years down the line, as we know digital is growing, I mentioned at the start of this video, maybe 5 years down the line, these digital numbers could really match up. It could become profitable, not today as things stand. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such content.